What's up, guys? Cipher Pol 808 coming to you with a discussion about One Piece Chapter 1000. Before I get into that, there's a few things from Chapter 999 that I wanted to discuss that kind of tie into what I've noticed from Chapter 1000 and some things that I think could possibly be coming up in future chapters. So one of the biggest things I noticed from Chapter 999 that kind of piqued my attention was when Kaido asked Big Mom about Pudding's ability, her third eye, if she had awakened yet. And Big Mom of course said no, she hadn't, and she really couldn't afford to wait around for Pudding's ability to truly awaken. So they're interested in Nico Robin, and if you guys remember, it was told to the Straw Hats that once they got into the New World, everybody would be after Nico Robin because of her ability to read the poneglyphs. So we already know clearly Big Mom and Kaido interested in Nico Robin. And of course, Blackbeard, he has aims to be the Pirate King, so he's gonna have some interest in Nico Robin, and I'll get back to Blackbeard a little bit later. But next thing I want to touch upon, this whole Kaido fish fruit. So I really thought that was a good twist. One of the things though that kind of I was wondering, so he got the fish fruit from Big Mom at God Valley. When he initially got the fruit, clearly he wasn't a dragon. So did he have to go to the land of Wano and ascend up the waterfall in order to attain his dragon status, or was there some other way that he achieved it? Is that the awakening of his devil fruit? I mean, I think that's pretty clearly the awakening for his particular fruit. So this kind of ties back to what I said about Blackbeard, and coming back to talking about Blackbeard, there's a theory out in the community about the Cerberus and Blackbeard potentially being able to have 3 devil fruits. His Jolly Roger has the 3-headed skull, so a lot of people are wondering about that, and I think one of the kind of leading theories is that he's going to have the 3 strongest devil fruits. So we already know he's got the Logia, the strongest Logia. He's already got the strongest Paramecia, so all that's left for him is the strongest zone, which I think now is clearly Kaido. But the question that I have is, if somehow Blackbeard is able to get his hands on Kaido's devil fruit, if somehow he's able to kill Kaido, will that fruit be of any use to him initially, or will he have to go through something to, turn into the dragon, whether it be going up the waterfalls of Wano or what have you? But will he have the time to do that, or will people be on him? These are all kind of questions that I'm like, it's the strongest devil fruit, but it may not initially be the strongest, zone devil fruit. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out. We haven't really seen Blackbeard recently, so he's gonna potentially be lurking in the background. This big bloody battle, hopefully he would love to get his hand on some of the devil fruits, and I'm not sure if he'd be interested or if he would even be able to steal Smile devil fruits, but it's always a possibility with Blackbeard. Let's see. Now moving on to Nami and Otama's plan from Chapter 999. I thought we might see something of it in Chapter 1000, but didn't see anything in particular related to that. But I think it's clearly going to have to do something with her Kibidongo, her cheeks, potentially taming the beast pirates. I think that theory's been out in the community for a while, that she potentially play a part in the final battle with that ability. So hopefully Oda's not trolling us, but that's always a possibility with Oda. Okay, now let's jump in fully to Chapter 1000. So starting off the chapter, one of the cool things I saw, was the interaction between King, Queen, and Marco. Zoro was initially there, but he kind of got chucked up towards the roof. So the thing that kind of got me about it was Queen and King's kind of perplexity about how they couldn't defeat Marco, how he seemed like he couldn't be beaten. And one of the first things I thought about was like, okay, so they know who he is, but they clearly, it seems they've never actually fought one-on-one or even within proximity to each other, to kind of see how each other's devil fruits work. And that kind of goes back to the flashback about Ace wanting to go and take Kaido's head, and Marco and what's his name, Izo, wanting to join him and everything, but them telling him the reason that they didn't move on Kaido was because they knew it would cause a lot of casualties in the land of Wano. And of course, that being Lord Odin's homeland, they wanted to, of course, protect his people and do what they can, which unfortunately wasn't much other than don't go with a full-on assault of Wano to get at Kaido. So that was pretty cool. The next big thing I thought was Odens Journal. That was something that was very hype, and I think kind of low-key, went a little bit slept on in the chapter from some people, but I thought it was really interesting because I just want to know, how much did Odin write in there? I know it said that it talks about everything and talks about his wonderful journeys, but does it explain the will of D? Because we kind of allude to it in the chapter about the whole D thing and the prophesizing of all the rookies, or not necessarily the rookies, but young, strong pirates coming to the new world and wreaking havoc and kind of fulfilling Odin's wish and striking down Kaido. But they don't say, Oda doesn't tell us exactly what is in the journal. I mean, it alludes to it, but it doesn't specifically say, like, oh, these are where all 4 road poneglyphs are located. This is what's at Laugh Tale. This is what the One Piece is. He doesn't say if that specific information is within Odin's journal. So I'm kind of curious if it is, because, Momo, she gave the journal to Momo, so he's not probably going to read it right this second, but after the battle is done or whatever. And some people think potentially he could become a cabin boy with the Straw Hats. I wouldn't be opposed to that idea. I like Momo, but I really don't think it's going to happen, because they're going to need a new shogun unless his sister kind of steps in while he goes on sabbatical and kind of travels with the Straw Hats. But that's still a ways away. We still got to get through this initial battle, or excuse me, not initial, this final battle. So moving on. Oh, so the flashback between Yamato and Ace continued, and one of the things I noticed was that I initially actually kind of didn't notice about the flashback was when she was talking about Roger, and she kind of said, like, oh, a great man said that same thing, and he was the Pirate King. And kind of Ace's reaction, like, oh, he was a great man. Like, I think she was one of the few people in Ace's life that didn't have something negative to say about Roger. In all those flashbacks with Ace back in the Paramount War, Ace getting into all those fights when he's a little kid with grown adults because of all the things that they were saying about Roger and how he was scum and how his child should be killed and everything like that. But here's Yamato, someone who initially he thought was going to be an enemy, is, telling him, no, Roger was a great man, and your brother, I'm not going to laugh at him because I kind of see him in the same light. He said the exact same thing, and I can respect that. So I think Ace, that even more cemented Ace's friendship with Yamato, but unfortunately we know, because actually that goes into my next point, the whole Vivre card, she found out because Ace's Vivre card disappeared, kind of like how Luffy was there, and you see the Vivre card in the distance kind of just burn up finally, and then we find out that's when she actually found out that Ace is Roger's son. I thought she knew beforehand, but apparently she found out after that he was Roger's son and Luffy's brother. But then she remembered about all the young kids, and she's like, okay, Ace was the first, but I remember now Luffy, and that goes back to the whole, of all the people you could find in the entire sea, you brought the one pirate that I kind of knew about and was told to me to keep an eye out for him. So that was pretty cool. Now let's go back up top to the rooftop. Not all of the Straw Hats, but Zoro and Luffy have finally made it, and you got Law and Killer, and you got Law over there, or excuse me, Kid and Killer, and then you got Law kind of off over on the rock. Kind of getting flashbacks to outside the auction house at Sabaody Archipelago when it was Kid, Law, and Luffy. It's nice to see that they added Killer and Zoro this time, because they are supernovas, and I feel sometimes they get overlooked, especially Zoro. I feel like he never gets mentioned with the supernovas a lot of times. Like, Killer will get thrown in there sometimes, but it's usually only the captains that get mentioned when they're mentioning the supernovas. So I think, yeah, it's nice to see them getting their justice, being the first mates of their respective crews. So, now moving on, one thing that I thought was kind of gangster was when Luffy just walks right past Big Mom and Kaido and just goes over to Kinemon. I don't know, I kind of got some flashbacks, if you guys are fans of Hunter x Hunter, when Meruem kind of just walks right past Netero and Zeno, and they're kind of just like, oh, he just walked right past us. I mean, not quite as gangster, but it was still pretty gangster. But you gotta love how Luffy kind of had that moment where he has it in every kind of arc, I think, where that person holds out, that person, you know, tries to do it, tries to fight the fight and save their country, and they come up short, and then they feel like, okay, oh my god, this is my last option. Luffy, will you please help me? And then Luffy's just like, of course, why didn't you ask me in the first place? You're my friend. Of course I'm going to help you. But we get that moment. Beautiful as always, you know, Kinemon's like, Luffy, can you put Wano on your back? And Wano is going to definitely need saving with Kaido about to drop Onigashima on top of it. And even with all that around, Big Mom being there, who already whooped Luffy's ass once, Luffy's like, yeah, of course I will. So that was super hype. Gotta love that. Moving on. Sorry. Adjusting the notes here. What do we got next? Okay, so the last thing I kind of wanted to touch upon was Luffy's kind of not final attack, but the final attack of the chapter, kind of his opening statement to, I think, really his run on being the Pirate King. You know, when he went to Big Mom's territory, he was not there to fight Big Mom. I mean, he kind of knew that he might have to, but that wasn't his goal, wasn't to go there and to defeat Big Mom. His goal was to go there, get Sanji, and get out, and come to Wano. So I think this punch, the Red Rock, smashing Kaido in the face, definitely super hype. There was some stuff I wanted to go over about the Red Rock that was kind of interesting that I found doing some research. So Rock, or I guess Rook, it's a mythical bird from Middle Eastern mythology. I think it's kind of similar to, or not similar as far as powers, but in the same realm of like phoenixes and stuff like that, you know, mythological bird. Is supposedly a very huge, large, I think the largest mythological bird, or so they say. But during my research, I found Sandman _ AP on Twitter. He kind of had a breakdown of the kanji for Red Rock, because obviously I don't read Japanese, so thank you, Sandman _ AP. Check him out on Twitter. So the kanji for Red Rock means Hellfire Fist Pistol, while the kanji translation for Red Hawk just means Fire Fist Pistol. So kind of seems like this is an upgrade to Red Hawk, but when you first look at it, you're like, but he's only going gear 3rd. So one of the things I was kind of thinking about, you know, he's been practicing the Ryo this whole, you know, arc, trying to figure out how to do it, trying to replicate it, and he was learning from Old Man Hill. So this could be, I mean, I think it's pretty clearly a gear 3rd with Ryo infused. So I think that's why it was able to kind of smash Kaido. I mean, he did kind of get the drop on him, but that's pretty hype if that's kind of the new powerful punch, and that's just his kind of opening statement. That wasn't even like, you know, the battle hasn't really begun. That was kind of just like, yeah, I'm here, Kaido. What's up, Big Mom? I'm going to be the one to surpass you and become the Pirate King. So, you know, when he declared that and told them, I'm going to surpass you, I'm going to be the Pirate King, super hype. You know, initially when I went through the chapter, I was kind of maybe expecting some more kind of flashy hypeness, like big battle, or, you know, something along those lines. And, you know, we did get some battles, but they weren't, you know, looking at them, we knew they weren't key battles, like the final battle or the final matchups. So I think that was kind of not so much a letdown as kind of, okay, I gotta kind of curb what I was expecting. Of course, with Oda, I should always know to do that. Don't, you know, assume one thing, because he's going to take it and twist it, and it's still just going to be so amazing. So I really enjoyed kind of all the curves, especially now going through it, kind of rereading it, thinking about what could possibly be coming up. You know, like I said, Blackbeard, I still think he's kind of lurking around, you know, potentially with that whole wanting the strongest 3 devil fruits, you know, 1 from each class, and potentially big battle. We know the world government has been kind of has some dealings with Wano, which is now going to be awry because of the killing of Orochi. So the potential for them to show up. The revolutionaries were looking into weapons manufacturing, which we know was coming from Kaido and being produced in the land of Wano, or the ore was, at least, I don't know. But so there's potential for them to show up, and, you know, just so many people could potentially show up. You know, they're not there right now, but the potential, because we know Kaido wants to make the world's greatest war, something that surpasses this Paramount War, which is going to be pretty epic, since you had Whitebeard, all 3 admirals, Sengoku, Garp. I mean, that's going to be pretty hard to top, and it's shaping up to be. So I'm pretty hyped. It was a pretty epic chapter. Hope everybody enjoyed kind of discussion. Leave any comments if you guys have any thoughts about the chapter. If you guys have any tips for me. As you can see, I'm still trying to figure out this whole editing thing, but thank you for stopping by. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a wonderful day.